Now that we have done our addition and our subtraction of integers separately, we'll now try to use our order of operation to deal with more complicated problems involving negative numbers. Here's an example of a little bit more complex problem involving integers. If I'm given this problem here and asked to simplify, I recognize that this is a multiplication up here and then this is a division. So since there's simply multiplication and division, I could go ahead and cancel as much as I can. I recognize that 6 and 3, I could cancel them out. Therefore, 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 two times. Now since I have no more numbers in my denominator, I can simply go ahead and multiply. If I multiply the top, I end up with 14. 14 divided by 1. Now what sign do I apply? Notice my negative and negative up here would have become a plus, and then a negative down here I would have a positive divided by a negative, which would give me a negative in the end. An easy way to look at a problem like this when you have negatives and positives with just simply multiplication division is if you have an even set of negative numbers, then your answer comes out positive, whereas if you have an odd number of negative signs like what we have here, then your answer comes out to be negative. Here's another problem that we are asked to simplify. If we're given this problem to simplify, we can try to figure out what is our sign going to be first off. I have a negative here, which will be multiplied by a positive, which will be multiplied by a negative. Therefore, I would have a positive as my numerator. Two negatives here. Down here, the same thing would happen. So I would have a positive divided by a positive. Therefore, my answer comes out to be a positive answer. Another way again that we could look at it is if I have an even number of negative signs, then my answer would come out to be a positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, even number, therefore I have a positive answer. So now I don't need to worry about my signs anymore, and I can simply go ahead and cancel as much as I can. Why can I cancel? Because this is simply a multiplication up here, a multiplication below, and therefore this is a top being divided by a bottom here. So cancel as much as I can first. And if I cancel, I could do this here. I could say 8 into 8 goes once, 8 into 64 goes 8 times. Then I could say 8 into 8 again goes once, 8 into 72 goes 9 times. And I could look at it again. I could see 9 into 9 goes 1 time, 9 into 27 goes 3 times. Then I would have 4 into 4 goes once, 4 into 12 goes 3 times. And then 3 into 3 goes once, and 3 into 3 goes once. Now my top numbers are now a 1 multiplied by a 1 multiplied by a 1, therefore I get a 1 here as my numerator, and then a 1 multiplied by a 1 multiplied by a 1 gives me a 1 here, so my final answer is simply 1. If I'm given this problem to simplify, I need to pay keen attention again to my order of operations. This one is not as simple as a multiplication in the numerator and a division down there, so I have to simplify as much as possible. The best thing to do is try to get the numerator to be one number and the denominator to be one number, and then from there you work it out. So if I'm working up here, I recognize that I have to do brackets first. So if I'm doing brackets first, my problem now becomes 3 minus 7, which gives me negative 4. And let's continue to write my problem. Plus, open bracket 4, close bracket, minus 2, close bracket here. That's my numerator so far. I could do the same thing at the bottom, simplify my brackets as much as I can. So rewrite minus 7 times 2 plus, now I enter my brackets, do my brackets. When I do the brackets would now become simply negative 4. Okay, so this is my new problem now. In my new problem, I do the same approach. I'm going to work with my numerator, work with my denominator. If I'm working with my numerator, this is a multiplication here, so I must multiply before I decide to add or subtract. So I rewrite minus 4, negative 4, plus, and I multiply. When I multiply this, I get negative 8 over. Same thing again, do my multiplication right here. When I do my multiplication here, I will end up with negative 14 plus negative 4. Notice how nice and simple the problem starts to look. From here now, again, I'm still treating my numerator as one problem and then my denominator as another problem. If I do my numerator now becomes negative 12 from my addition rules. And my denominator would become negative 18. And from there, I know I have a negative divided by a negative, therefore my answer must be a positive answer, and I can simply break down my fraction as much as I can. So in the end, I would end up with 2 over 3. Why? Because both 12 and 18 can be divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 gives me 2. 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. So my end answer is simply positive 2/3.